Okay guys, I'm out today perched on this hill and I'm going to fly the drone shortly. So if you look around here, I'll give you a sweep of the area. Tell you what, this is really one good lookout. I'm the only one here, I've been here for about 15 minutes, no one's come along. And as you can see, the road winds down through the guts of that gully, back up the other side and over there. So I might fly the drone over to that hill over there and sort of give it a bit of a work that way. So main reason for today is a couple of us, I'd like to see shots of the bike going along the speed it's travelling along on the road. So what I'm going to do is do a bit of a clip on this road while I'm out here on this dirt road. It's fairly well packed, you know, not more solid today because it's rained here the last couple of days, and it's not as powdery as what it was a couple of days back. But anyway, I'm here, the bike's over here. I'll see if I can get something for you together so you can see how this little Suzuki travels on. So there's the beast there now. Now what I was going to say to you, have a look at this hill here too, look at that ripper. So if you're on this side of it coming down on this road, I might even run the drone and let it follow that road over there where I'm going to sit under that tree and have a drink and so on and forth. But what a beautiful place out here today at around 20 degrees, not much wind, and a view there what you'd kill for miles and miles. Now here's a funny thing that happened on this bike. Like naturally when I buy these bikes before, I put a few accessories on them, and when they go with the accessories. But I needed another set of crash bars for it just in case I have any incident out there and I have to get the bike up off the ground. So I ordered the set and got them in, and they arrived yesterday. But the only problem was I couldn't remember how I fitted the original one. So isn't it pretty bad that, you know, you put up a clip how to fit crash bars and you've got to go back and look at your own clip to see how you put it together. Now saying that, from an outsider going back in, and I even went there and left Warro a comment telling that, you know, I thought he did a pretty good job putting that together and I found it really helpful. So the thing being, when I checked out what I had, I couldn't recall exactly how I had it in the first time because there was no instructions, I think, with that particular set of crash bars, and there was none with the ones I got now. So I went into it then and had a look at how Warro put it together, and I reckon I'll be able to follow his advice with no trouble whatsoever, and the instructions are there were fairly clear. You know, not perfect, but they were good enough for me to go back there and say that's how I would do it if I was going to do it. So I'm going to fit the crash bars, the exact sort, maybe in the next couple of days on this bike and go from there. But apart from that, that's about all I can tell you on that side. So the crash bars are going on it. And the best thing about it, when I bought them about a year or so ago, I paid about $460 for the crash bars. And we'll just get off that bike there. Okay. Yeah, so I paid about $460 for those crash bars about a year or so ago. Now you can pick them up for around about $220, which I think is a fair bargain when you look at it that way. Now once again, doesn't this bike taste a nice profile? I've been looking for another bike too under around about, oh well, not under, but say, yeah, all right, say under 10 grand. But I don't know, there's that much shit out there. Like I was thinking I might buy the new GB350 2026 model when it comes out. Believe it or not, the only colour you can get it is in the shitty silver. Hard to believe how stupid, and I'll say this again, it's hard to believe how stupid Honda are that they've got a bike, if they put a decent colour, sold them in the places, forget the shit colours, unless they're getting a deal on paint, put nice colours on, they sell a lot more of them, regardless if they're underpowered and things like that. The fact is, they would look all right. I was hoping the blue and white one had come in, but not the case. When the dealer got back to me, I'm not going to pay $8,000 for a heap of shit in grey. Like, I'm not that desperate to get rid of me money. I mean, I'll get rid of me money, but I'm not that desperate to want to toss out on a flat grey looking thing. If it would have been the blue and white one, I would have bought that. But what else did I look at? I thought about the Triumph Street 400, but I don't know about it. And then well, it was the other couples I looked at. This new Suzuki's out in what they shortly too in the model they call the Gitsa. That's the street version. I don't know, I could be tempted in buying one of those because they're only around about six and a half, 800, something like that. Same as what this one costs. Then, believe it or not, when you are riding, and I really believe out of all the bikes I've had, when you are riding the best value bike out there, performs that well, and so cheap to buy, and so bloody good, and all the other shit out there what you have to look at, which are almost double the price. I don't know. For me to be looking at another bike, there's only one sentence you could say, like, I really should be flogged. That's all there is to it, because when you're riding a bike this good, why do you need other shit for? Like, it's just such a good bike to ride. Back on the dirt there, you know, like it runs along this dirt road pretty good. Even though it's a bit damp, it is a bit damp, but it's got a lot of gravel on it. So you still have to be careful, like in the sections there, like play it easy. But what a profile this is. Like, I've even had people say to me, oh, you know what you're talking about, this bike isn't as good as what you reckon, you're only trying to sell it. I'm not trying to bloody sell it at all. If I bought 3 of them, I either think they're either no good or I'm getting them cheap. But unfortunately, I've got to pay exactly what you pay for them. And the fact is, they're a really, really good bike. So that's about all I can tell you in that line. And if you're on the fence and you can't make up your mind, should you have a Suzuki 250SX? Get off the fence and buy one, because actually the new model should be coming in the next month or in the next few weeks. Wait for that one to come and see if there's any extras on it, like if it's got a bit better instrumentation, anything else done to it. But overall, just hard to say. The only real drawback about this bike, if it was sitting there for 12 grand instead of 6-8, you'd probably say to yourself, yeah, I got a really good one, they're around 12 grand. But because of that budget price gets involved, I think a lot of people think they're just shit bikes, but it's not the case. Like, if I get there rattling off all the bikes I think it's better than, shit, half the subs will leave. So I can't get there and say too much about that, because every time I say negative about a bike, whether I've got it or sold it or not, the damage is there, and I cop a failure to communicate, you could say, between me and the subs get the shit, and all of a sudden you see that sub count drop. So, you know, you win some, you lose heaps. So as far as that goes, all I can say to you, if it's your first time looking at the Suzuki, or you're thinking about it, don't hesitate. They're that bloody good in all areas. They're pretty smooth to ride. This one runs over the dirt all right, runs over the bitumen, handles good. There's just nothing bad you can really say about it. It has got a couple of little niggles I'll go into at a later date on another clip, but you know, compared to what it is and how well it goes, and you know, the value for money, and yeah, it's just a good overall bike. And you know, like when you got a choice of several bikes, I don't even know why I was looking at buying another one, but you know, as a rule, I put a budget out. I can buy 2 or 3 bikes a year. I will sometimes more, but working on that, you know, say 3 a year. Well, that's a load of shit, because I've been averaging 6 a year. So look at this down into the gully. What a bloody ripping spot this is here. I bet you in midsummer, I bet you there's a lot of ground runners along here in the line of snakes. It just looks snaky. Looks really good fox country too. But it's always good to get out here when I can get on these rides. I'm not pressured by anyone else coming along with me. I'm just here, me and me lonesome. No one on the road just apart from me. And you can come to places like this and you just look around and appreciate, you know, how lucky you are to live out in the country, where you can swing out to a place like this in, I don't know, 40 minutes and then piss off down into these hills down here and just ride on regardless. You know, like, really lucky in that side. And even when we're talking here now, not one person along these bloody roads except me. So it's just hard to believe. And look at the scenery out there, how far you can see. And at the end of this clip, at the front of it, I'm going to put the, I'll put the dirt road ride, and at the rear of it, I might put up a bit of a drone clip, but we'll just go down here further. I would have thought I would have seen a couple of kangaroosters running around here, but so far, nothing. Just bloody me. Me and a bottle of Hydrolite. But, geez, I tell you what, it's really nice warmth out here compared to when I left home. It was really bitterly cold. Like last night, it got down to about 3 degrees, I think. But look at that. Look at this gully. I only walk down here in case I hunt something up, and then I can go back to the drone, put her up, and then follow it. And I thought I might have found something along here, which, like roo or something, I could sort of target and get the drone onto it, and we could have a bit of a look at what it looks like up close on the bounce or box or something like that. But so far it doesn't appear to be nothing apart from the big heap of rocks. But you'd be walking amongst these rocks, sooner or later you would bump into a viper, that's for sure. But overall, I'm thinking I might throw the drone right over to that big hillside there, because I got a full battery charge on the drone and I can run it out quite a distance. But anyway, I suppose there'd be quite a few blackberries down there too. Anyway, there's nothing moving around here apart from me, so we'll... Look how steep it is too. I've got to climb all the way back up this friggin' hill. So you don't know how rough it is out here until you're pacing it out. But once again, I just let you know that things are going well. The Suzuki's running well. I'm running reasonably well. And a good time was had by all out here in the scrub. And once again, look at that Suzuki over there. What a profile. It almost looks like it's worth a lot more than what it is. That's its problem. So, you know, how lucky some of those people are to come in and if they buy one of these bikes and work out how good it is for not much money. So that bit aside, we'll close on this. I will catch you later.